Brothers and sisters, today, continuing with a topic we began many Jum'ahs ago, looking at the moral foundations behind the pillars of Islam and Iman. We have already covered the pillars of Islam, and a few weeks ago we began to cover the pillars of Iman. We looked at the pillar of belief in Allah and the moral characteristics which it should engender in our lives. And we looked at belief in the angels, something we don't think about too often, but something which needs to be thought about because of the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it the second pillar of faith. This week we will be looking at the belief in the books. Belief in the books of revelation which Allah revealed to humankind. Belief in the books begins with a basic concept, a concept which is very important in our times because of the fact that so many people, especially in the sources of globalization, so many people there who nominally consider themselves to be Christians and others, who nominally say, I believe in God, but who practically deny religion, who say, yes, I believe in God, but I don't believe in organized religion. So what do? I pick and choose from what I like, what I've read, what I've heard, and I make up my own religion, based on what I feel is appropriate, what I feel makes sense, etc. And I live my life accordingly. And that is seen as being okay. Everybody finds his or her own way. However, that concept, as attractive as it might seem, actually is an affront to Allah. It is an affront to God. It is, in fact, saying that God was not wise. He didn't reveal to His creatures the way of life that He wanted from them. Islam, religion. He didn't reveal it. Religion is made up by people. And that concept, as I said, attacks a very basic principle of belief in God, that He is all-wise. He is Al-Hakim. Ahsan al-Hakimin. He describes Himself as wise in so many different ways in the Quran. And He stresses the importance of wisdom. And all human beings recognize the importance of wisdom. We pride ourselves in being wise. We look down at those who are not wise. So, if we consider that Allah created this world and then did not inform people what He required of them, we would have to say that wasn't a very wise God. Because in our day-to-day lives, we can see the results. Confusion, chaos. If information is not given concerning purpose, the way, if it's not made clear. As an owner of a factory, one puts an advertisement in the newspaper for workers for the factory, and then when the workers come, we don't tell the workers what they're supposed to do in the factory. So what do we think is going to happen to that factory? Workers are just going to go in and find their spot and, get in line and do what they're supposed to do? No. They will go to the canteen, drink tea and chat, till somebody comes and tells them, hey, no, you should be behind that machine and you should be doing this and you should be doing that and come in at this time and leave at that time. And a factory owner who would do that, we say, is foolish. He is foolish. Similarly, if we didn't tell children what they're supposed to do at school, we just sent them. One day they reach a certain age, we just drop them off at school. And each child has to figure out for himself what he has to do at school. What do you think? Think he's going to just go marching into the classroom, sit down and wait for the teacher? Or is he going to go to the playground, to the play yard, swing on the swings and slide on the slides and enjoy? We would have to say that parent, that school system wasn't very wise. Wisdom requires that people are given information with regards to what they should do under the different circumstances that they find themselves in. That is wisdom. Other than that is a lack of wisdom, foolishness. So when one says that God created this world and left it to run on its own, that's what that person is actually saying. He's saying God wasn't very wise. So that belief, and as I said, it's important to understand that that belief is a popular and common belief now today. The average Christian, because of what he has seen and heard about Christianity, the Catholic priests, the Da Vinci Code and all this other foolishness that is out there, they've seen enough things, they read enough, they know that Christianity is fabricated by human beings. Clear. The Bible they have is changing from year to year, decade to decade, new version, latest version, new international standard, and all these other different versions. Any thinking person has to say, hey, this is people making this religion. So his or her conclusion is, all religion is like that. Of course, when they look at Buddhism or look at Hinduism and what's happening there, it's clear. So they judge all religion in that way. And they don't consider looking at Islam thinking that it's no different from the others, based on what information comes to them in the media or whatever. So this is the common belief today. In the countries where the mass of people claim to believe in God. That is the common belief. And we find that belief actually echoed even amongst some Muslims. Muslims who have been exposed to Western education in one way or form, having studied in America, UK, Europe, etc., being bombarded by the ideas, these kinds of ideas, raising doubts in their own minds about Islam. But that is part of the consequence of globalization. What people always talk about, globalization. Globalization of what? Globalization of a civilization that has lost its roots, that has lost its foundation, its moorings. It is just at sea, adrift. No rudder to guide it. Because once one cuts off the foundation of revelation, and when a society says, we are secular, that's basically what you're saying. Secular democratic society says we are cutting off our roots to revelation. We can decide for ourselves what is best for ourselves. Once a civilization takes that route, then they go astray. That is the natural consequence. And we see it, we live it today.